Well, welcome everybody. The After John program. Let's kick this off here. And we'll get this rolling here. There we go. This is the After John program. We shouldn't have as much problem as I had today. Today I had to, I drove all the way over to John's, forgot the camera equipment, and tried to use my phone. Had 3-4 screw ups or whatever. I got frustrated, said hell with this, and went back, drove 40 miles round trip, and got the camera equipment and put out two 2-hour stunt hangers, or Saturday at John's events. So what we're going to do tonight, these weekends are the weekends that I have to catch up. When I say catch up, there's a lot of tinkering work to do on this airplane, and it doesn't seem like I'm making any progress to me, but I suppose I am. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to start sanding out these fillets that I put in today. They're pretty good. I mean, I think they're workable. Tomorrow, the agenda is, unfortunately, tomorrow's my laundry day, so it will be done in two sessions again. At least I got the canopy cut and made and formed on his disc sander, so we're good to go with the canopy. That canopy cost me a bunch. I had to go through 4 canopies to get what I wanted. See, I got this. Gotta have the motor mounts. There they are. Or there's 2. Yeah, we'll worry about that. There they are. So I got a new airplane started, but I am gonna be doing. Here's another canopy that I had. I mean, I got a bunch of canopies. This one is just too narrow. Let's put this one up here. I got canopies out the wazoo. I think the next airplane I do along this configuration is going to be a Viper. I like the old school looking airplanes. So I'm trying to bring back some of that nostalgia stuff. What the heck's this? Huh. So we'll start sanding out these fillets and see how it works. We had one guy on, or 2 guys, and then they dropped out. I don't know. I don't expect you guys to hang around much or whatever. Pretty boring stuff. These fillets right here, when done correctly, they look bitchin'. They're just cool. You can see how easy the superfill sands. Let me get a little closer for you. It's all about desire. How bad do you want it? And this will take another coat yet to get correct. But Sanded out relatively easy, that one. Not bad for the first go around. The next coat will be just a skim coat over the top of that. I'm almost to my weight limit, so thank you for the like. I'm almost to my weight limit, so I really got to be careful of what I add here. The airplane, as it sits with the canopy on it right now, is 48 ounces. It can go, I could kill this airplane in a heartbeat with paint. If I was like one of my friends who'll paint it until the stand bends, you could kill it. But as it sits now, I'm on track for a sub 60 ounce. As long as I'm very careful with the details, getting all these things sanded out and not globuling on 2 or 3 inch thick fillets, so on and so forth. And this, Andrew. Thank you very much, Andrew. I think it's, yeah, Andrew. I brought home tissue. I'm going to try to find my Japanese tissue, and if I can find that, that will be better to cover this fuselage with. But I got dope in the car, my allotted amount to finish up the fuselage with. And tomorrow the thing's going to be take it outside, put a couple coats of dope on it, and try to get it covered with paper. But I do have to do laundry tomorrow, so don't expect a whole lot. Unless I can figure out how to take this to the laundromat and work on it. You can't ask for easier sanding stuff than this Superfill. You could ask, but you won't get it. See. Wonder what I did with that can of DC 540. I can't spray it in here, but I am gonna zap these tomorrow with a little DC. My last can, there's unobtainium, can't get it no more. I might wait to do that until I get all the fillets in and do the whole fillet, because it's easier to paint over gray than it is blue. Okay, let's sand it with 320, see what it looks like. That was 180. Only took a minute to sand it out. need some more putty there, but I'll get that when I come in with the fillet. So that's the good sand out for the second go around. Let me pull it onto this side so you can see. This side here I haven't started on. We'll go back to 180. Well, you sure wouldn't do this with a light. When I tell you guys something works, trust me, it works, or I wouldn't use it. I watched a guy on a YouTube channel the other day build a gallows F4U Corsair. I felt like jumping through the television and saying, hey man, that's not how you do it. But I'm hoping that when I start this RC build, that you guys will follow along, because it's no different. The RC is no different than the control line. The same building techniques, except for control line's a lot harder to build than RC. And I'll tell you why. RC, you're not worried about the weight as much as I'm worried about it here. RC is not critical to a symmetry, stagger, fixed wedge. RC has trim tabs. Control line airplanes don't have built-in, trim tabs that you can actuate. You got to fly it and trim it or whatever. You can't trim it on the fly is what I'm trying to get across. That's why free flight is so hard to build. A free flight airplane is super difficult because everything has to be straight, balanced, and you have to be the ultimate trimmer. You have to know how to steam and tweak, twist and turn, and weight things down. So I would say free flight is probably the hardest to build. And if you were flying and trimming competitive rubber powered free flight, that would be super hard to build. Now the biggest trick with these is getting them even. Both sides have to look the same. That, and I'll show you something. If you can see, like right over here, right here, I can see this bit of superfill. Not only can I see it, but I can feel it. I have to get that off. I have to get this all off. All this excess up here. It has to blend perfectly, transition. It has to feather into the, might take 4 coats. Oh boy. I'd say that these doodads that I put on this added 20 hours work in the build. And I know it's rather boring to watch me sand, but it's real time and it's what it takes. We could go for a pizza or watch a bird or look at the fish or something, like Wendy does. So this is sticky back paper, 3M, best stuff moving. This was given to me by one of the subscribers here. I can't tell you who because I was asked not to. If you remember right, I thought I had ordered some and it never showed up, and it wasn't me that ordered it, it was one of the subscribers here. That was very thoughtful and I really appreciate it. We're almost there. It's a little low right there. If we thought it was boring, we wouldn't be here, I suppose. I have a pretty big following, actually. A lot of guys on Facebook say they can do it, but I come from the show me state. You're going to have to show me. A lot of guys can write a big game. That's pretty good. And of course we'll have to get that when I get the fuselage tissued. I'm feeling some boogers up here. Have to sand out. If you look at this superfill, you can basically see where you missed. Now, how many guys know about guide coating? Guide coating is where you spray on a lacquer color, such as black, just a dust on, and that shows you where you've sanded and where you haven't sanded. And that's how it's done in the car or motorcycle industry with a guide coat. But in airplanes, I'm trying to keep the weight off. If I could just lay the paint on here, I could have a 20-point airplane easy. But as I've stated, the heaviest single thing besides the engine is the paint. You want to leave as much paint off as you can. So I used a primer, and the airplanes look, like they were primered. But seeing that the materials that we're getting, the wood we're getting, is less desirable, you have to leave a step off. So the primers went away, and now we're using the tinted dope. So with the tinted dope, you use less colored dope. because it's already white. This has not been painted white, clear, clear tinted white, but the wings have. It will take one coat of white paint to make it white and shiny. And you can see when the airplane goes over the top, you can see the sun through the wing because there's no dope on it. So this is learning how to paint without using paint. So the primers went by the wayside because the wood we're getting is so bad, really. It's nowhere near the wood we used to get in the 70s and 80s, 60s, 70s, and 80s. Better watch that. I'm starting to go into the paper. Yeah, I guess that'll be all right. So I got a little smut up here. I'll hit it real quick with 80. I don't know that you can see this, but I'll try to explain what I'm going to do here now. Okay. Let's see. If you look here, it's shiny. Well, I don't want it shiny. And you say, well, why don't you want it shiny? You're trying to get it shiny. It will not be flat if it's shiny. So the thing to do is 320. Probably ought to use a block. And dull it up. And you keep dulling until all the shiny spots are gone. Let me see if I can find that soft block. Now this is a soft block, but not the one I'm looking for. I'm pretty happy with the weight of the airplane. I mean, I'd like to be 37 ounces, but it's unrealistic. Totally unrealistic. Can't believe I can't find them blocks. There we go. No. Might use this polywog a little bit. Now I got some, these are a Jim Lee tool. It's a ball bearing on a stick, and that's for fillets. I might use that. That gives a pretty big fillet though. And we might use that. So I'll leave that out. Here's a triangle wog. Let's try that one. This is a triangle polywog, and I've even knocked the edge off of that with a disc sander to bring it round. You get these from Eastwood. I was looking for a block to use on this though, because I can feel a little bump there. Let me see if I can find the block. I need to hunt that puppy down. Come on now. Here's another more rounded polywog, bigger. guess I could use this. Yeah, oh, wait a minute. Here we go. Okay. I found it. This is a foam block. I'm going to cut this up. We're going to cut it into 2 pieces. Any good auto body shop, any auto body supplier sells these 3M foam blocks, and I don't know how to explain it. It's not rubber, it's stout foam is what it is. It's not rubber, it's foam. And that's what you want to use. And we're going to knock all the high stuff off of this. I should probably go to spraying now instead of brushing. The next coat should be sprayed. See, that took that little green spot off of there. And it flattened out all those shiny spots. And that needs to be done over the whole airplane, the whole wing. You'd be surprised how much better your finish will come out if you do this, and lighter, because you're knocking off all the high spots and bringing it down to all the low spots, so you're taking half the weight off of it. And we already know we're going to use less paint because it's white. I wish it was a way that you could see what I see, but I just don't feel that I can get those speckles on camera. If you look right in here, you can see little shiny spots in it. And this is how you paint without using paint. You gotta keep knocking off the highs. I mean, sure, I could put another couple coats on this thing and it'd be shiny, and I could polish it smooth and it'd look shiny. But because I'm so close to my target weight, I have to use less paint. So in order to use less paint, you have to sand paint off. I hope that makes sense. Had it out there sitting on John's driveway, and it has the classic look. There's no doubt about that. 1969. That's the year I'm looking for. I thought that I would possibly do the headache rack on the Canopy too. That is super hard to do, but things that I'm this far into it, I don't see why I shouldn't. Let me explain to you what the headache rack is. The headache rack, and it's very hard to do. Is this the Canopy? No, this ain't the Canopy. This is the Canopy. I got so many damn canopies around here. Okay. When this thing is molded in, it will all look like one piece. And the headache rack that goes on it looks like I'm not going to be able to do it with this tape. But it goes around the canopy like that, but it goes at an angle. It's angling back this way. And it's kind of cool looking. Tom's Minato, the green Minato had a headache rack on it. I can't remember whether the purple one did or not. But what makes it difficult and hard to do is that first I have to make the decision, am I going to do the angled headache rack? And if I am, it has to be painted inside the canopy when I paint the inside of the canopy for the superfill and the epoxy that goes on this puppy. So I'm going to have to tape it out. Hey, buenas noches. I'm going to have to tape it out from the outside, take it off, paint it on the inside, put it back on, glue it down, then tape it off again from the outside, superfill over the top. You want about a 1/16 skim over the top, and then sand and paint it with the tape on, then take the tape off and leave. That way the fuselage looks like it's molded. It comes down this way, molded up over the side in the headache rack this way. And you have a glass dome in the back and a glass dome in the front. I'm debating whether to do that or not, and how much work do I want to get into. It's a pretty trick looking thing, and it is very nostalgia. But guys in the 50s and 60s, I don't think they had anything better to do. They did all kind of different things than they do today. Those airplanes from the 60s were finished extremely well. I mean, just beautiful. About everybody from that era was a top builder. Yeah, starting to got to get some dope on that. So let's put a little CA on that. I'm starting to that's a fix. Starting to go through the tissue there. So, got to stop there. Needs some more dope on it. You break the tissue, you're kind of screwed. So let's take this off and do the bottom. We'll get the bottom filled out or sanded out anyway. 16 watchers, 10 likes. I like that. We'll leave the tape on it so I know which canopy goes on it. I kind of scratched up the outside on the front, and oh crap, I wonder if I could buff it out with John's buffer. But I forgot, don't have to. Gonna sand it all anyway and paint it clear. So it doesn't matter. So let's see if we can get the bottom ones sanded up. Wide. Looks like I didn't smooth that one up very good. That's all right. I got a God-given smoother right here. At least it's on this side, so it'll be easy. You know, part of the biggest thing about doing these airplanes is knowing what material to use and how to use it. Back in the day, we used to struggle because nobody would tell us what they were using. Then I finally figured, oh, they're using baby powder and colored dope as a filler, and that was too heavy, but sure made for some nice looking airplanes. You gotta love the smell of baby powder and aerogloss dope too. Man, I just love that. Never use spackle. Never. Spackle is a killer. First off, it's Jimson. It's very heavy. Second off, dope will lift it right up. It'll bubble and boil, and you'll be crying when you put all that work in and you use spackle and you hit it with dope. And it makes a big wart on the end of your airplane. I said it would take 3 sand outs, and I'm sure that it's going to. Three fills, I should say. You've got some low spots there. Those shiny spots there are lows. I'm going to try to bring it all down to the lows. It's lighter to bring it all down to the low than fill them to bring it up to the high. Now this video series that I watch, anybody know what a Cooper is? To coop comes from the Latin to contain. And a cooper is a barrel, bucket, or basket maker. And he makes them out of iron and wood. And they got a YouTube channel of a Australian cooper. Really fascinating. Super good craftsman. He makes barrels and buckets like I make airplanes. I mean, makes it look simple. And I'm looking at it and go, I can do that. He's using all the same tools that I use. Kind of like the dentist or the guy who made my teeth. I said, I can do that. You got the same tools I got. I haven't got around to making my teeth yet. I got all the stuff to do it. Except the only thing that's holding me back is I can't run the stove in this apartment. And I can't cook up the plastic. That's the only thing that's holding me back from making my teeth. I guess I ought to make him and take him over Danny's garage and have him put him in his autoclave out in the garage. Did you guys ever see those? All the stuff that I ended up getting? I bought all the teeth. Remember, I'm not a dentist or I'm not a whatever you call a guy who makes false teeth. Here's all the teeth. I got the articulating jaw. That's down in the box here somewhere. I got the flasks. I got the algisate or algin, whatever they call it. Taking impressions. As a modeler, you can do anything if you put your mind to it. And I'll guarantee I'm going to make me a set of teeth. And they'll be Cadillacs. I watched the guy. My teeth were made in Billy's basement. And I watched him do it. And there ain't nothing to it. And why would I pay some guy $4,000 or $5,000 for something I could do? Well, that's low right there, and I'm never going to get that sanded out. So we're going to leave that for the next fill. Now, as far as the curve goes, you'll never be able to sand a perfect curve in that by eye or by hand. So you want to take your roll of sandpaper or whatever. Get that sanded round. Remember, it's got to look like it's molded one piece. And if you can't do it, don't do it. Kind of like inking. If you can't get a perfect inking job, don't leave the ink off. You'll get more points. An ink job that's non-existent will get more points than a poor ink job. Yeah, I'm starting to get into that there. I'm going to have to wait till I get some dope on that. Starting to burn the silk span. You can really see the shiny spots here. Let me look at the TV a little closer, see if you can see what I'm talking about. Yes. Okay. Let's see if we want to look right here. See those shiny spots along there? Those are all low spots. And in order to do a good paint job with no paint, you have to take a little block like this, and you have to sand out all those shiny spots. And you won't get them all, but you need to try to get them all. Let's see here where we're at here, right there. That's better. That's better. But you also have to know when to stop, because if you start burning through paper, you're defeating your purpose. Like right up in here, I can see some spots. Right there, got it. And all this detail work that I'm doing here will make your finish so much better. If you don't want to do this and you just want to paint it and polish it, yeah, it'll be shiny, but it won't have that show car lacquer deep luster. When I tell a story about chrome plating really opened my eyes to painting, because a piece that goes in for chrome plating looks chrome before it goes into the tank. And the chrome is just a protectant. And that's basically what we're doing here. We need this to be absolutely perfectly flat and be semi-shiny evenly before it gets the protectant on it. This probably could use another coat, but I don't want to. I want to do this with the least amount of paint as possible. Okay, I'm gonna quit monkeying with that right there so I don't burn through it. The coat, but we're not going for that. And yeah, you could sand with 600 or 12,000 grit or whatever, but remember, you need tooth. So 320 is, some guys sand down to 400, but I can't tell the difference between 400 and 320. You want to save the real sanding for the end. The 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 5,000. That's the hard sanding. Because you go, man, I ain't making no progress because you can't tell. Okay. Yeah. Back to 180. Lost it, stick 'em. Last night I was looking for a little orbital DA, only electric. And when I say little, I mean like a 1-inch or 2-inch sanding pad. And I ran across this sander that has a sanding head of about 1/2 inch. It looks like a water pick. And it would get, I could really get down in there with that. I'm thinking about getting one, but they're pretty pricey. Hello, Bob. Bob Branch, that sounds familiar. I know you, Bob. Sounds familiar. Ah, yeah, Frank Carlisle. Yeah. Kind of miss old Frank. Did you hear the story about Frank and I at SIG? Frank Carlisle, I don't know if you guys know him or not. He built an LA Heat. LA Heat is a huge airplane. It's huge. It's got 2 engines on it. It was designed by Whiteley, Bob Whiteley. Red, white, and blue. Look it up, LA Heat. And this was the time that he was building it. I was giving him tips on how to do things, and he did a pretty nice job. Anyway, we're at SIG, him and I, and we're down by the hangar. And he was helping me. I don't know, I was in a hurry. I reached into my toolbox and I sliced my hand wide open. I mean, I had an X-Acto knife like an idiot with no cover on it. Australia! That's great. Follow my methods on silk spinning, Ricardo. Anyway, so we're down by the hangar, the one on the end farthest away from Hazel's house. That's also where I met Roland McDonald. I'm not sure if it was the same year. Anyway, I reach into the toolbox, slice my hand wide open. I go, crap, I don't have any CA. Have you got any CA, Frank? No, I ain't got none. Well, shit, let's go to the trailer. We go down to the little trailer, and I'm bleeding like crazy. And I said to the lady, you got any CA? She goes, yeah, why? I need it. I got a cut. So she got me some slow sets, or fat, the thin CA. And I had Frank squish my wound together, I squished it together and he dropped the CA on it. And I could not get that thing to quit bleeding. And I said to the lady, I said, you got any kicker? He said, yeah. I reached into my pocket, got another $20 bill out, gave it to her full of blood. Hold it together. I said, okay, Frank, drop the CA on it. Drop some CA on it. I said, okay, Frank, hit it with some kicker. Man, it burnt. Smoke. But you know what? I don't even have a scar there. Frank Carlisle was a character. I got some of his videos, some smoothies. I had to put them up. so we can all remember Frank. Yeah, I think I'll do a tribute to Frank. Last time I saw him was at the Nats. I don't think he was he wasn't flying, but he was there. Talking about smoking pot. What a guy. Does that ring a bell there, Bob? The last time I was in Detroit, we went to Randy Ryan's for a barbecue. That was cool. We flew in his backyard. And let's see, we got to look at all his engines. I did a video on his engines. Looked at his Harleys, which of course I don't know anything about. Oh, you want to see some flyers? Go to Detroit, and them Canadian guys come down with their Sinkles. Them guys are good. I guess they ought to be. They're world-class flyers on the team. Impressive. Okay, well, we got most of that straightened out. I put a little back on the tail. We could do the tail. This job, I attack it in little steps. I mean, this is the first sand out. Put some more filler on. It'll be another sand out. And keep massaging it and rubbing it until it's perfect, exactly the way I want it. Otherwise, if you just try to do it all at once, you'll get frustrated and say, nah, I'm done. Let's see. Need to get that off right there. Of course, this will be under the fillet. See that lone spot right there? If I don't get that off, it'll show up in the paint. Gone. It has to be a perfectly smooth transition, just like this right here. This spot right here will show up. We'll try to get a little more off, but it's going to be covered by the fillet. So it's not really a priority to get it off of there until after the fillet is covering it up. But it is important to pay attention to and to keep notice of. Because if you let stuff get away from you, where you say, we'll catch it later, it will get away from you and you won't catch it later. So the best advice is to catch it as you go. That's pretty good. That will be definitely inside the fillet. I wish I could get that off, but it's not going to come out. It's low. It's low, way low. Let's try 180 one more time. I got 1,000 little 1-inch pieces of sandpaper here. Got it though. Now just down to one little one there, and I'm not sure that I can get that. We'll try. Lighter to take it off than it is to add it. I can see the line there, the transition from first coat to the second coat. And there'll be a third coat on there, but it'll be just a light skim. And then we'll smooth that out. I did get it up. Determination. And it feels good. Yeah, there we go. Doesn't feel good right there, though. It's more about feel than it is about sight. Because if it feels funky, it will look funky. So could a blind guy sand? Yeah, I would say so. I mean, he won't know what he's sanding, but he could sand it to where it was smooth, where it was even. I think we're going to quit monkeying with this for this coat. I still got to go back and put my carbon fiber strips on the back there. Let's, how do I want to do this? Well, I got some spots there that need fixing. Oh, well, probably got a million spots all over it. There's a spot right here. I'm going to do this in my hand. I'll show you. There's a little spot right there, and there's no way. Now, John has a little apparatus that we were using today to hold the airplane sideways. I don't happen to have that luxury here in the apartment. So I'm going to hold it in my hand. And with the paper stuck to my finger, trying to get that. Try not to drop it. You remember when I first started attacking these, when I, first started doing this, I said how hard it is because it goes this way, that way. I mean, it's a pretty complex shape, super compound. And the only way that you could have done that is with that 64th plywood shim. There is no way you could put filler in there and expect to sand it to shape. Ain't no way. We're gonna have to get paint on that before I go any farther. It's starting to hair up. Let's come back to the back. No room. Let me move this. Okay. Now, this filler here that I put in here is not really a good idea to do until after you get the tissue on. Sometimes I can't help myself. So what's going to happen is I'm going to have to tissue these spots and then come back and add some more filler. But the reason I wanted to add the filler is we're getting quite a big step here. This is the transition from the fuselage to the 3/16. So it's got a 16th inch step. So here again, I wanted to fill in stages. I didn't want to globble it on in one big turd. So I skimmed on a coat of superfill to try to taper that out. Then I'll tissue over the top of that all the way back, and then come back and superfill over the top of that again in a real fine skim coat. That way it's 2 thin coats instead of 1 thick coat. And trust me, it's always better to do that. Otherwise, you'll have a lump there and it will look like hell. When I go down the flight line and I look at how things are done, I just can't believe it sometimes. But the reason they're done that way is that nobody took the time to explain things. And that's my job here, to try to explain how I do it. Now, this is not the only way to do things. Don't get me wrong. But it is my way. And it has worked for years. And it yields a nice result. And if you don't believe my finishing method works, ask John. He'll tell you. The only thing that you can do to lighten the airplane up is to cut back on material. So not only are you cutting back on wood because the wood's so heavy, you're cutting back on paint because paint is heavy. Does it look like a windy finish? No. My airplanes are shiny. They're presentable. They're anywhere between 17 and 19 points, depending on how much sanding I want to do. Do they look like a windy finish where it looks like it's a molded piece of plastic? No. I don't have enough paint on it. I posted a number of early electric build threads about 11 years ago. Make a super day. Good night. All right, Bob. Good night to you. Thanks for watching. I do miss Frank. He was a character. You guys would be very surprised how many people I know. I'm surprised how many people I know and how many people know who I am. I guess I'm a big hit in Korea. Kamsahamnida! They treated me like a movie star at Rodax. I got that award from the Brazilians and the Argentinians. That was kind of cool. I'm a big fan of Carolina Floristi. I guess that's how you say her name. Hobby Show TV. You guys check out that channel. You won't understand a word they're saying, but she's well worth the look. I watched the movie last night with Demi Moore called Striptease. And I looked at her and go, man, she's a kid there. She was 33 years old. Pretty good. Pretty good looker back at 33. She looks good now, but I think Carolina Floristi is better looking, but you can't understand the words she's saying because you speak in Portuguese. Portuguese and Spanish are about every third word. So that's what I get out of them, every third word. But that'd make a perfect wife. Don't understand the words she's saying. Great, okay, whatever. Knock yourself out. Yep, this is going to take another coat, but I knew that. This, all the super fill that I put on here today, I think I figured out added 7 grams, but I've sanded off half of that, so we added 4 grams onto it. But if you're going to build light, you better watch your weight. Because even at 48 ounces, the way it sits here, it could go over the 70 ounces quick. It could get tubby quick. All it would take is to lay on the paint gun like Wendy does. John today asked me about these carbon fiber patches that are up here. Asked me if I was having a problem with it. No, but anytime you're going to do these big doodads like this, because of the torsion on the stabilizer, you better add those. You just float the super fill over the top of that and you never see them. Matter of fact, we could do that tonight. We could mix up some super fill and get working on that. There's so many little things to do. I gotta keep moving forward. A little here, a little there. I'll wait for those. I don't know. I don't know. We'll sand this side too, I guess. Another thing about adding these carbon fiber reinforcement patches over the top of these joints. If you look at an airplane after it's set in the sun, you can always see a dimple right there. Well, not only will these not crack, but there will never be a dimple there. It's not that big of a weight hindrance, but you know, everything's weight. Everything you put on the damn thing is weight. So you kind of want to be selective where you're adding it at, and this is all the way in the back. So, you know, a gram here or there out way back here could end up weighing an ounce in a 4G turn. So if you're going to put it on, sand it off. Sand as much as necessary to get it off. You don't want to add a big clod on there. SCA is hard. It ain't like superfill, that's for sure. But we'll feather it out. Almost. Are you guys getting anything out of my babbling? Besides that I'm a nut. Let's see, we need an X-Acto knife or a scalpel to take some of that off. One of my guys sent me scalpels too. I can't tell you who it is, but I sure appreciate it. So we're going to use this stick here that's got the ball on it as a sanding stick. Because not only I got to sand that leading edge fairing in too. All these doodads add a lot of work. So let's pull this around this way. Now what I'm trying to do is just feather that carbon in. And it'll get superfill over it, and I'll have to do this again with superfill, but I want to get as much of this laying down as close as possible before I put the superfill on it, so it's just a skim and not a big clod. Okay, we need this. This is 320. We got to get to 180 on that. I use all kinds of apparatuses to get sanding. You know, guys have asked me, "What sanding block? What do you use?" Well, whatever's handy. Sanding block is just an aid. See, that's no good. I need a knife to cut that off. What I need. That's too hard. Damn. Might have to grind it off with a Dremel. Do that or get on it like this. There we go. Yep, got it. Okay. And that leading edge has to be the same roundness all the way around until it hits that fuselage. And then it has to blend into the fuselage. So that's going to be a trick. Otherwise, it'll look terrible. And we'll start the blending process here. Mix up a little super fill and trowel some in if I can find some razor blades. Yep, I see them. So we'll mix up a little super fill and trowel them in to get them started. It'll take a couple of coats on them too. Perfect. That's what I wanted to see. If I'd have been smart, I'd have cut that all in one piece. But there's no way to do it, and I didn't know I was going to go this far on this. So back here, I can feel that edge. I have to feather that edge out. Only way to do it is to sand on it, grind on it with a block. Stay on the carbon and stay off the stab. Like concrete there. Got it. When I trowel a, little super fill on that, that'll stand out. You'll never see that. Got a little step right there. That's got to get out of there. I think on the bottom, I'll use smaller pieces. Got it out though. That's good. T-bone. Thank you, Tom. We're getting there. I mean, it's a work in progress. Will it be ready for the gnats? No clue. We'll have one new airplane to go with it. That's right. I need to renew my AMA card and register for the gnats. So let's mix up a little super fill. We'll trowel that in and see what it looks like. I'll show you how to do it with the least amount of stuff. So, I got no room here. So the first thing we'll do is break out the super fill out of this, and I took it to John's. You know what I could have done? I might try that on the bottom. What I could have done is applied that carbon with superfill. Might try that. Never thought of it till just now. I think that might be a valid way to go. It would sand a lot easier. CA is just so hard. We're not going to mix up a whole lot here. I made the cardinal sin today. I put the white stick back into the blue container. And I got all the white out. Oh man, I've told you over and over again, don't do that. And I did it without thinking. I don't know what I was thinking. Must not have been thinking. So we'll mix this up pretty hot. Gotta love that cat pee smell. It's unreal. Gotta love that cat pee smell. I guess this is about third or fourth time I'd mixed superfill on camera for this airplane. And it won't be the last. We still got to do fillets and a cockpit. But the best trowel that you can use for this is a single edge razor blade. It goes the same for the 3M uh, spot putty. I can't remember the part number on it. Big long part number. Anyway, got that mixed up. And we'll trowel it on. Slather it on there. This time I didn't mix 10 ounces. Just mixed a little. I'm going to take this off so I don't get any on it. The rubber band is just to hold it so it don't fall off and break that tit again. So you get a little on your trowel like so, and you just trowel her on there. Yeah, we're gonna feather that in, so I need some there. $80 ounces. I keep adding this crap. I did stop. I got some paper towel, so I'm gonna need to go get a roll of paper towel because I'm making a mess already. Take the trash out. I can do that tomorrow. Take the trash out tomorrow. Clean the place up again. Do laundry. I'll be just a little domestic spouse tomorrow. Now we're not worried about the superfill being super smooth. Oh, I forgot to get alcohol. I bet I got some here. I bet there's some in this closet. Because I know damn well I had some here. Pull this away. Move this. Oh, shit. Can't move around in here. Move this board. There's got to be some alcohol up in this closet. I sure hope so. Nope. Damn. There's another rudder. I got parts of the airplanes in this closet. Pipes. Turn this box around. That's paint. That's Revival. What the hell? That's Trim Black. Rubbing compound. Can't believe there's no damn alcohol in here. I know damn well I didn't use it all. Let me look under the sink. Yeah, ain't under the sink. How about up in the cupboard? Ain't in the cupboards. I don't think it's under here. Cotton balls. No alcohol. No alcohol. We're bumming. Okay. About the time I get it finished. Oh, there it is. So let's see what I did with the razor blade. Okay, at least I got that under control still. Well, that's a fairly good first coat. I'm not worried about up in that seam there because it's going to get fillets up in there. I'm just worried about getting this started to get flattened out. It'll take 2 or 3 coats to do it right. You know, because we're putting it on super thin. I don't want to block it in there in a big rock. I've got to put this board back. It's in my way. This is nothing like working at John's, and John's is pretty tight in there with all the stuff he's got. But here, man, I got no room. You can't move anywhere without tripping on something. So let's put this back on. Tomorrow when I get up, I'll sand these out. We'll start doping tomorrow too. There's a piece of damn solder on there. How did that happen? It came off though. Now, if you do this like body work, like if you're using polyester resin or whatever, you can kind of feather this stuff out. And you won't be able to spot it when it's painted. There we go. We got it. Okay, use my finger. And because super fill is so much easier to sand, I'm not really worried about doing it super neat, because within 2 seconds I can have it sanded off with 180 grit sandpaper. But you don't want a big clod like here in the corner. And if I had some alcohol, I could smooth it out real good. But I don't. And I forgot to get it. I know damn well there's some here somewhere. It's probably with my Japanese tissue somewhere. The Japanese tissue. Let me look at one of these drawers. No, I didn't put it in there. The Japanese tissue, the forceps, the ball drivers, the sanding blocks have all run off together. Let me wipe this blade off. I'll get one more swipe on this. We've been on an hour and 45 minutes. I put in, on camera, I put in 6 hours on camera today. There we go. Now, Tom Luciano is a body man. He knows exactly what I'm doing here. I think that's what you do for a living, isn't it, Tom? Body man? I'm using this stuff like polyester resin. Polyester spot putty. It's just lighter. Feathering out the high spots. Spotting in or whatever. There we go. That should do it. Okay, that's gonna do it. I'm not gonna aggravate it anymore. I don't have alcohol to smooth it, so it's gonna have to be smoothed by sandpaper, which is not a big deal. As you saw with the fillets in the front, they super fill sand so easy. It sands twice as easy as Bondo. Bondo's like sanding rocks, really, compared to superfill. Now I'm going to give you the trick of the day as far as leveling things out. Don't attack leveling things out with a fine grit sandpaper. You'll be sanding all day and you won't make any progress and it won't be level. Use 80 grit. You block it flat with 80 grit. And because we don't use polyester, 2-part primer, you have to go down to 320. So once you get to 80 grit, don't go all the way down. Go down to where you figure that the deepest scratch is where you want to end up. Then start sanding with 320 and block it with 320 and don't go any farther. But don't try to get it straight with 320 because what you'll end up with is the ocean. It will not get straight with 320 grit sandpaper. Man, now I'm missing the rubber bands. Come on. Can't believe the shop ate the rubber bands. Oh, there we go. We got another one. That's a pretty stout rubber band. Oh, it's 2, that's why. Boing. Hey guys, like, subscribe, share. If you're not a member of Stunt Hanger, you should be. That's Stunt Hanger Forum. I don't know everything, but there's somebody on Stunt Hanger who does. So if you got a question, you can ask on Stunt Hanger and usually have an answer within a half an hour. Any question about anything airplane, whether it's the right answer or not, you'll have to ascertain that for yourself. But if it's not the right answer, usually other people chime in and say, hey, wait a minute. Anyway, let's see here. I do appreciate you watching and all the support you show me, John, Stunt Hanger, Charles, and all the guys. When the season starts to come up for flying, I will be doing live streams from the field, from the nats, from the hobby shops, and wherever. I'm a one-man band. Sometimes I make mistakes. Shit happens, there's not much I can do about that. So anyway, like, subscribe, share, hit that bell for notifications. And if you're so inclined and this channel helps you out, hit that join button down there. It's $4.95 a month. Anyway, we'll see you tomorrow. Fair winds, tight lines. See ya.